Hey everybody, I'm Charlie Waymeyer, and I am super excited to be working on this track with Ricky, getting to check his setup out and his new SE microphones. He did a great job recording this. The tones are clean, the kit has some character to it. You know, he chose some Evans heads that have a nice round, fat tone, especially the kick is thick. And I just wanted to see if I could take this up to the next level to try to match the excitement he has when he's playing. So let's take a listen to the basic tracks that we started with. Not bad. Like I said, kick is nice and thick, snare's got a little bit of grit. Toms have a good mid-range. This stuff's gonna be really easy to work with. So the first thing I did was start doing a little bit of EQing to try to bring things out even a little bit more. I always start with kick and snare. Overheads a little. Just to try to kind of make things cut, because once the guitars and the bass are in, I want to make sure that those drums are sitting right up in the front. Next, we do a little bit of toms here. Now with EQ. Just trying to enhance what was already there. I'm actually not pulling much, I'm mostly boosting just to try to make them even a little bit more exciting. Once I was happy with that, I went to some creative compression, some for color, some for containment. And I started with the kick and snare, which are the kick is getting some saturation from my overstayer channel amp and a Neve style compressor. And the snare is getting saturation from another overstayer channel amp and some DBX 160X. Just to try to pull things out. Next is the toms. They're getting some Joe Meat compression, and the floor tom is going through a modded Elisa's 3630, and here's what that sounds like. Most of this is all just adding more thickness to what was already there, giving the drums the kind of like a gooey sound, which is cool. Now all 7 tracks are running to my drum bus, which is a Heritage Audio master bus compressor pushing out to a pair of Rupert Neve 542 tape emulators. And there's also some parallel compression from a Tonelux TX5C compressor and a Tonelux EQ5P EQ. And that's just adding a little bit of cut. So off, on. And that's just so it pushes forward even a little bit more. Again, I want to keep it out front of those guitars and bass, so they're kicking. Now, one of the special things I like to do is use distortion to add yet some more character. And in this case, I wanted to give the kick drum a little mid-range, so once the guitars were in, it stayed up front. And I like to do that with my Electro Harmonix OD glove. It's a great little pedal, and that sounds like this is going to be really gnarly on its own. But what it's going to do is it's going to give the kick drum a little bit of mid-range, and then the distortion on the snare is just going to add a little bit of size. And it's actually mixed in very, very little. So here's without. On. The kick drum, you really hear it. Now the last thing I did, since Ricky did this at his home studio, I wanted to give a little bit of room, a little bit of size, kind of space to it. So I created a room reverb with my quad reverb and an overstayer compressor, and that sounds like this. Just kind of spreads things out a little bit. It'll give it a little depth in the mix. And then the final thing I did was add just a little bit of a plate reverb from a Yamaha SPX 90 on the snare and a little on the toms. So it sounds like this. So the room is kind of spread out left and right, and I have that plate reverb in a little narrower. And when you hear it all together, a lot of that gets eaten up. Dry. So that reverb, that kind of fake room thing actually helps it quite a bit to stay feeling kind of large. And that was it. This was real easy to work with these drums. Ricky did a fantastic job. I love his playing. He's always got so much energy, so I'm honored to be working on this with him. So that's my job. It's done. So thanks for letting me be a part of this, Ricky.